Coming up on today's episode.
We actually met at the property, so we'll walk through the property so we get a good feel of the property. It was a rental property, so it had tenants living there, and pretty sure it was the original kitchen and was falling apart. Just could not be fixed. It was pretty bad.
Chipwood cabinetry and that sort of thing, and didn't have no range hood.
So it's
so
it wasn't compliant at all.
No, so the oven had been installed, but that wasn't really great either. And just it was all just sort of crammed in the kitchen sort of thing. So the layout,
the floor wasn't in great condition. I mean, the bathroom wasn't great either, but the kitchen needed to be done. You couldn't have. I wouldn't have got the same price if they hadn't have done the kitchen.
Dodgy advice and bad decisions can cost you big in real estate. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen. Welcome to the No BS Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Jo Agresta, and it's time to take control of your property journey together. Welcome back, everyone, to the No BS Real Estate Podcast, your listening how-to guide to the Aussie finance and real estate market. I'm your host, Jo Agresta. Now, today, we're talking about something that causes a huge amount of stress for sellers, and that's what's actually worth spending money on before you sell your home, and what is a complete waste of time and money. So by the end of this episode, you'll have a much clearer idea of where sellers go wrong, how to think about return on investment before a sale, and how to make calm, smart decisions instead of emotional ones. And joining me to unpack this beautiful topic today are Rayleen and Susan from 3-2 Projects. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Jo. Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm so glad.
We're really happy too, because it really resonates with what we do in our work,
Yeah, and we love just spreading the word and helping people and giving tips.
Well, to be honest, in our pre-podcast interview, I had way too much fun. It was like, we need to shut up and hear for the podcast. Just the stories that you guys shared and like the anecdotes and like the behind the scenes of how much effort goes into preparation for sale. I just thought this is something we haven't unpacked properly on the podcast with people that actually do the renovating. Normally it's someone who recommends renovating or like, oh, you should spend money, but today we're really going to get under the hood, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot that I didn't realise. So until I spoke to you guys, I'm like, you need to come on. So I think like all good places to start, let's go back to the beginning, right? So we always do a statement at the start of this show, and it's our no BS statement of the day. You have to spend money to make money when selling your home. So we're going to come back at the end of the episode and decide whether that's bullshit or not. So let's get into it. I think a couple of things. How did you guys get started? Like, where did this all begin?
Yeah. So we met many years ago when our children were going to kinder, and we had our friendship and that sort of thing. And then over the years, we've both got a passion for renovating, property investing, that sort of thing, and that just grew. And we were always going to different courses, different presentations, that sort of thing. So
So we lived through it, we experienced it ourselves. Yeah, and we just love learning about property. Any chance we could get. We always talked about doing something together, but never really knew where that was going to end up.
Yeah. And I think that's the hard part. It's like you don't know where it's going to end up. It's like you shared that common interest.
Yes.
We love property. We've gone through it ourselves of having to, do the selling part, which I think then you can empathise with your customers to go, we know how shit this is.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's awesome. But you got your kids met at kinder and then it just started up this business. I love it.
Yeah. So it's good. Yeah. So, it's been really good. Look, with that passion with renovating and helping people as well. So it's just gelled really well.
Yeah, and I guess like before you started 3-2 Projects, like what were you both doing professionally? Like where were you at?
Yeah, so I was in the public service for many years, just admin type work and that sort of thing, and then just sort of renovating or property investing in the background sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'd done many different roles in different industries. Ended up just prior to starting the business working in commercial and residential real estate, mainly ASMs, but we did a lot of maintenance and rectification work for the Department of Housing, and really got into the more detailed property
side of things. It's interesting because it's like they're two complementing backgrounds. Like you're the one that's done the investing side and like seeing properties from, the buyer's shoes, right? And then on the other hand, you've actually seen all those issues when it comes to maintenance and especially Department of Housing. I don't have to say much. It's a really unique perspective that you both bring.
Yeah, definitely. And also I had the business background. So I was quite confident in that area too.
Yeah. And you knew exactly what, how to put it all together. Because I remember what you said in the pre-interview, you were like, there was that moment where you started up and you're like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. So that was Rayleen.
What if we can't do this? We will. We just will.
If we can't, and I'll go, we'll just do it.
We'll just do it.
Get it done.
Find a way.
I love it. I love that attitude because like now fast forward, you've got some fantastic reviews, you've built a great reputation, and that's the kind of stuff that as a business owner, you kind of want to reflect and go when you start out, you're like, what if this doesn't work? And you have all those doubts. And then it's like, you've always got someone going, it'll work, shut up.
That's it.
Come along for the ride. And now look at you guys. Like, that's an awesome story.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think it's like in the podcast. We don't try to be something we're not.
Yeah.
No.
We're very open, honest, direct, communicate quite clearly. And that's just how we are.
And that's exactly,
business.
That's exactly why you're here, no BS. And
that's
exactly come on board.
That's it.
And, I guess, was there a particular moment for you guys or experience maybe where you realised that sellers were getting overwhelmed or given poor advice that, and then something like this business was needed? Because it's quite unique. Like I haven't heard, I hear of removalists and I hear professional organisers, but I've never really heard of that renovation part unless that person maybe gets a buyer's agent specifically that does it, and a lot of people don't know that that's even an option.
Yeah. We were the same.
Yeah. So we had friends that were in a situation where they needed to sell their property and they just weren't, they'd never done it before. They hadn't sold for many years and that sort of thing. The agent had said, you've got to get this and this done. Yeah. They had no idea where to turn.
They had no experience.
Yeah.
They had no experience.
Yeah.
They didn't know. They got,
which trades to call in at what time, and that sort of thing, because that can cost you a lot of money, calling the trades in at the wrong times and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
and also misguided. Trades not showing up.
Yeah.
Quotes ranging from 300 to 3,000 for different works.
Yeah. So, and we understand because agents, they don't have the time to be meeting trades and coordinating things. So, So we sort of did the research, didn't we?
Yeah. So we helped them quite a bit. Yeah. And then we both looked at each other and went, well, who's helping the other people that don't have friends like us?
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
So we had a couple of agents that we knew through friendships. We approached them, did some market research and thought, this could be it. This could be what
we do.
Yeah, this could be us.
Yeah.
So
because there are other businesses out there, but they don't necessarily oversee the whole process. Whereas we will see it from A to Z, sort of thing, and we'll check in all the way, and that sort of thing. So it was a little bit different.
Yeah,
what we were going to provide. So yeah,
and it stands out, right? Because like I said, I haven't really heard of a business doing that. And when I met you guys, I was like, this is fantastic because I was selling my grandma's house at the middle of last year. I mean, a year ago now. What a mess that was. And even though I've got the background as an agent and buyer's agent, like that was all for the transaction itself. But in terms of like when the agent came in and said, this house was built in, the 1970s, it probably needs this or probably needs that. When you've got a European background, no one pays for anything, so everyone's like, just do it, we could have probably done a lot more and probably gotten a lot higher value, in my opinion. Yeah. And we have just made some, not drastic, but minor adjustments that would have made it really different. Yeah. And that's something I think about often now. So we're going to help everyone listening today on that one.
Yes.
And I guess in a simple sentence, like to summarise, what does 3-2 projects actually do for sellers? Like to explain your process.
So it's basically we just like to help people prepare homes for sale by offering expert guidance and coordinating the trades and getting the home in its best presented the best presentation that it can for the best results.
Yeah. And that includes like renovating or even just like suggestions on how to make that house sellable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I think that because it's been 4 years now, and so we've sort of pivoted and changed and moved and realised when you're passionate about something, you think everyone else is.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
And so we come across quite a few people that they don't know, like return on investment is big for us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't recommend doing anything unless you're going to get a return on the investment. And, not you're selling, so you don't want to spend too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the concern, right, for a lot of people is they know it's so risky in their minds.
Yeah.
But how do we, but I have to spend this much to get this much, and the math doesn't add up in their head.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to spell with people today, because we've got a fantastic example from you guys. I'm like, this is not going to convince you. I don't know what will, because it's definitely changed my mind on that. My grandma's house. So I'm just thinking about it.
But also too, it's like people don't know. I said to Rayleen on the way here, it's like you're told to make pad thai, but you're not given a recipe. Some people don't know how to actually achieve their goals or where to start.
Yeah. And I think people, when it comes to renovating, have the idea that they've got to do it themselves and have that time. And it's like, maybe if you're watching the blog, and that's our concept, our idea of, renovating, you've got to get in the kitchen and work out what a spanner is and figure it out. But it's not like that in reality.
And people underestimate how long things take, even just at the start, the decluttering.
Yeah.
You might have a situation where you've got the adult children coming in to clear a family home for whatever reason it's been, it's got to be put up for sale. And but they've got their own lives at the moment, and decluttering at home that may have been lived in for 60 years it takes a lot of time. And also there's that emotional attachment to things, and that sort of thing. So people will think, oh no, we'll do that. And that they just underestimate how long things take. So even painting, we'll paint that, but
You're telling me exactly like that process just keep reflecting. But like we were the adult children, like it was my grandma, so it was my mum, her brother, like my uncle, me, guy, my producer, like all family involved to help declutter and the arguments over like someone going, just chuck it out, and it's like, no, don't chuck that had like a sentimental value for 50 years. It's like, I've got a garage for my grandma's stuff. Let's just put it that way. There's my decluttering tip. Just shift it. Forget it, don't worry about it.
But a lot of people that put stuff into storage.
And then it just sits there. And they're paying for it.
They just can't deal with it. It's just human processing.
I know, as humans, we're complicated creatures, but this is where I think, having a third party, like you said, coming in, it kind of changes that. Like the thought process of having to let something go, and you feel like you're telling them you've got to throw that out, it means nothing. It's like, it's just, hey, that seems like we get go.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, that's
exactly.
It. And we're not all about throwing it all out either, because we've got different charities that we been connected or are connected with. So a lot of it can be repurposed and that sort of thing, which makes people feel a lot better too about when they've got to let go of something that they know that it's not just getting thrown out, it's actually going to another home. So
and I think that's always helpful. Rather than seeing it in skip. And I think mentally for a lot of people that's what kind of starts the depression of, oh God.
That's it.
And I think this is like the perfect I guess background and context. Like, we want to go into our Reddit segment, our Reddit Real Talk, and this is where we're going to have so much fun today. So we thank you to our listeners who submit these stories each week. You guys are the best, and it gives us something to talk about when we've got unique guests on the show like these guys. So we're going to unpack that today. If you're new here, we'll read out some of the stories that have been submitted, and then we'll get these guys to unpack it on the airwaves. So this first one is titled Fixing Issues Before Selling. And it's from the Oz Property Chat, and this poster writes, we are selling a house which has a few minor issues, but mainly one being a few stumps are sinking. We are pretty certain, due to the size of the block and location, that anyone who buys it will want to knock the house down and build a new house/townhouse or maybe a block of units. Any recommendations on how we get the most out of the sale without putting too much money into the fixes of the house? So this is interesting, right? when you read something like that or come across that situation, like obviously their house is potentially falling apart in their eyes, but maybe it's not.
No.
What immediately jumps out at you as the wrong way to approach this situation?
Just trying to disguise it.
Yeah, you just try and disguise it or hide it.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go. Yeah. Because most people will get a building pest inspection beforehand. So all of a sudden, you've got a potential buyer, then they get this report about these stumps, and also people, don't they? They always overestimate how much something's going to cost to fix or repair. Overestimate, because then they think it's going to cost a lot to, how much is it going to cost to build fix this or whatever. So it's better to just disclose it. Look, there is an issue with the stumps.
Yeah.
And then the problem is that then leads into the underestimation, because you don't know what other fixing the stumps, what else other issues are then going to occur.
Yeah.
So it's like that's so
one problem, but then that could lead to compounding problems.
Yeah. So
Nick, if it's gonna be a knockdown, it really only needs to be livable for 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
So if it's not too bad and you disclose it, then...
Because if you've got a developer buying it, he'll more than likely want to rent it out for 12 months or so while he's getting all his permits and everything through.
That's true.
And that sort of thing. So it's that balance of making it livable, make sure it's livable, so that you've got a developer still interested in it as well. But yeah, and then you might very well have someone that thinks, no, I think it's worth risking the fixing stumps and whatever things that are. So we would recommend that even just get a building inspection done and a report, and include it with the paperwork.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Yeah,
because then you actually know what's wrong.
Yeah,
so
and you're being open and honest with potential buyers.
And for those that don't know, when you do get a building and pest suit, they actually, like the builder that's gone out there or whoever's done the report, they generally give you the way to fix it. Like they'll say you need to get a quote with a qualified surveyor, whoever it is, and say this is what you need to do. And
that's right.
I can refer you if you need to. So if you trust the building and pest inspector that you've paid for and hired, then you probably pretty safe to kind of do your research. I always say do your research. Even if someone recommends, I always say just double check, make sure. And then you can get it fixed. Or not.
That's right.
But then you've got to disclose it in your contract as a material fact, which is what the conveyancers call it.
Yeah, that's right. So
the other thing too is we don't know the background of the property.
Yeah.
Could it be an insurance claim? Like, is there some sort of natural disaster or something caused it?
That's true.
Or damage?
Yep.
Yeah, so it could be covered by insurance, and then they can go down that path.
Is it a reason that the property next door has done something to cause this issue? Like underground or like water issues or whatever, tree issues. So you could insurance is an option too.
And I think that's a really smart one. It's like, if you don't want to front up the cost, maybe insurance will cover this. Get someone to come and assess it. You might be just out $500 or $700 for your excess instead of what you thought was going to be $2,000, $3,000.
Exactly.
So that's a really good tip. I guess that. Yeah. And I guess when sellers come to you feeling like this, so you're doing like a pre-inspection. Part of your process is to go and visit, first and do that, but quotation or recommendation. Is that right?
Yeah.
So when you've got a seller that comes to you in this position, what are they usually most stressed or worried about before you even start talking about the approach or solutions?
Yeah, it can be a lot. It can be a lot. So we deal mainly with the property, but they could be going through a whole lot of other stresses.
Yeah.
And that can impact what they're thinking and how they're feeling about the process too.
Wow.
Also their past experiences, that could be a whole heap.
Yeah.
But usually they don't have any understanding of how to maintain property, who to call, what the process is, and then costs. Like they might not have any idea about the costs associated, and so they're worried that this is going to cost me a lot of money, and am I going to get the money back? And
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like it's all about that return, right? Before we spend, are we going to make anything back? Yeah. And I guess what are the most common things people assume that they have to fix that maybe they don't necessarily have to fix in a home before they're selling?
Oh, for sure. We do come across people and they've lived in the house for years and something has really annoyed them, but they've never dealt with it, but they think they've got to fix it for sale.
Yeah.
And no, that is not going to get return on investment, and no one is going to worry if you've got a hinge that doesn't work in the kitchen door, or or one lady, didn't she?
Yeah, she wanted to replace all the kitchen door hinges because they were a little bit rusty. They weren't fine. There was nothing wrong with it.
And there were a lot of cupboards, and no one is even going to probably open these cupboards to,
And hinges aren't cheap.
No. And then you've got the labour to change them over as well. So we said, no, let's redirect those funds to something that's going to get you a return. Yeah. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Though, like I think a lot of people tuning in right now are thinking about that one thing in their head. I don't know if these guys would think I need to fix it. They might feel relieved.
Yeah, definitely.
You do get it in your head though. Yeah. It's like there's things that I'll put myself under firing line here. So I installed like a pet gate to separate like one part of our house. Yeah. And I never sanded back the wall after I patched it. Yeah. And my partner was craps on about it. He's always like, when we sell the house, you have to do that. And I'm like, you can't even tell. Like, but you're almost finished.
It's nearly got there.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine. But it's like something that, in our mind, like, no, but we'll fix it before sale. But it's like, is anyone going to notice? Like, it's under such a hidden area.
That's it.
And it can also be, they think we need to do a new kitchen. Yeah. Maybe not. Change your bench tops.
Yes, like that's it.
You don't need to
and changing the hardware, just change the handles. Update the handles on your cupboards and drawers. That can make a huge difference. Oh yeah, just make it a little bit more modern. Yeah,
we changed them back from what my grandma did herself. Yeah, she had these crystal ones that she put on. And a pink kitchen. Something else. So we changed those back. Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah. It's just simple little changes like that. Yeah.
I can't wait for this episode. Yeah, I'm getting into myself. And we kind of already fleshed it out a little bit, but how do you step in for those emotional situations? I think this is something that people are interested in hearing because, when they put emotional attachment to either something in their home or a way that something's done, right? Yeah. How that's driving their decision making, and they're not kind of seeing the long term vision. How do you kind of help them come around that situation to kind of say, well, if you make this adjustment, your sale might actually get more?
Yeah. I think focusing on their goals, their end goals. Yeah. So what is it we actually want to achieve out of this? We had this lovely elderly lady and she had a different colour in every room. Yeah. It was colourful. Yeah. And she was colourful and she loved her colour.
Yeah, different pastel rooms everywhere, that sort of thing. So,
but she needed to move into aged care facilities. Yeah. And that's expensive. So market your property properly and get a bit of better return.
So it's trying to just explain to them that you want to open up your home to a wide variety of different people. Yeah. And you don't want to narrow it down to only people that like pastel colours, that sort of thing. So let's make it as neutral as possible, bright and fresh and feel clean, so that they can, and spacious, so that they can make their own mark on the property and that sort of thing. So just getting that across to them.
When you're selling your home, it's not really your home anymore. Yeah. You're passing it over to somebody else to make it their home. So try to create something that somebody else wants to move into.
And just being respectful that, it has been a beautiful home for her and she has enjoyed it and she's made her mark on that property. But moving forward, the next people, they may not appreciate the colours, so let's just make it all neutral and then they can work out what they're going to do.
And I think the other thing too, it's like you said, you're being so niche by putting it up with different coloured walls, like it's that market all of a sudden has shrunk. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't realise that when you're selling your home, the sale starts before you put it on market. Mm-hmm. And that's where you have to start actually neutralising it, like you said, not in a negative way, but we have to change it. This is not your home. I think people think it's not their home the day of settlement.
That's right.
Now it's not my home. So no, you've made the decision. Yeah. This all has to start from here. Pretend like that's not your home
for sure.
Now.
Definitely.
No, so that's always a tough one. Yeah. And this is the next Reddit story I want to go into. And this is, I love it, right? Because this is going to be the fun one. This is a really good question. So this poster writes, the title is Renovating for Profit. Is it still worth it? And they write, with materials and labour costs fluctuating, I'm debating if a renovation is a smart move before selling or renting out. have you had success recently, or are you steering clear? Would love some insight. When sellers read something like this, what are they actually getting wrong about renovating to profit?
When it's a matter of how much you spend on, or where you direct the funds, really, isn't it? Sort of thing. So,
So it's kind of like they don't know, like before you even start, you kind of have to have an idea of, well, what is it, like an order that needs to happen, of what could be uplifted or not uplifted.
Yeah. So it's tailored. Well, it depends on the property, the location, who's your target market. Is it going to be a young couple? Is it going to be upsizers, elderly, downsizers? Yeah. So there's a lot of factors that you have to look at. Look at the market at the moment, like what properties are for sale in the same area.
And what is the potential sale price of this property? And if you're close to it now, let's not spend a lot of money on it. You know, if you're not going to be able to sell past that, let's not spend a lot of money on it. Let's fix let's just prepare what we need to prepare. Whereas if you're in you've got a potential to get a really good price, and your property does need some work, that extra money, like, you've got a good chance of getting a much better sale price for that one. So it's just, the market, the location, the size of the property, and who's a potential buyer. So it just depends.
I think it makes sense, and this is part of why you do your pre-assessment too. When you go out and do a quotation to say, let's have a look at the house, you can kind of see the potential when you walk in of, oh God, this is, yep, we're going to have a lot of work here. Or and that's not that bad. This can be knocked out, pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where this but like, this is an actual case study you guys gave me. And when you told me about it, I was like, send me everything, because we can unpack it. And this is the perfect moment to bring up the Camberwell example, because this is the situation people are talking about when they say, is it worth it? They can't compare. They don't know how to compare. I think that's the other problem too. Like, how do you go online and say, show me a renovated property on realestate.com? It's hard to find. So let's unpack this actual example together. So I guess this is I've got some before and afters on the screen for everyone to see, you guys listening. So if you're not listening, I'll describe some of the images to you so you can see what we're looking at. Yeah. So the Camberwell property, we're looking at the kitchen, and we've got brown kind of features in there. There's some clutter on the bench, so look, that makes complete sense. Like, they're reading in it, so this is before sale. Kind of light timber coloured bench tops, but it looks like a dark kind of old school space, doesn't it? It's a bit down and drawn. And then when we go to the lounge room for the second image, what we're seeing is it actually looks really cool. It's a really cool design, because you've kind of like got a balcony that has your seating area and the kitchen, and then it looks over below the lounge room. And there's so much potential with the structure, but the way it's been furnished, and like I said, this is not a dig at these people, like this, they were living in the home, but there's a lot of clutter. And is this kind of the stuff, like when you saw these before pictures, what did you kind of spot and go, oh, okay, what can we do here? Like, what was your process of assessing it?
We actually met at the property, so we'll walk through the property so we get a good feel of the property. It was a rental property, so it had tenants living there, and pretty sure it was the original kitchen and was falling apart. Just could not be fixed. It was pretty bad.
Chipwood cabinetry and that sort of thing, and didn't have no range hood.
So it's
so
it wasn't compliant at all.
No, so the oven had been installed, but that wasn't really great either. So and just it was all just sort of crammed in the kitchen sort of thing. So the layout,
the floor wasn't in great condition. I mean, the bathroom wasn't great either, but the kitchen needed to be done. You couldn't have. I wouldn't have got the same price if they hadn't have done the kitchen.
And it's so interesting, because like looking at the picture, like I saw the whole array of photos, which I won't put all of them on screen, but maybe we'll link them so people can have a look at your before and afters. But some of the work, like you said, was pretty damaged. I think even the bedrooms had like all those black marks, and like the carpets or the board was, shot.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is where people then start that freak out. Oh, cool. So this is like $100,000, $150,000. I need to build a new house. So
That's right.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the aftershots and how we kind of came to that point, what do sellers like, I guess, in this case for this particular Camberwell property, when you got the keys and you were talking about the condition, how much did you end up spending to uplift this property, and what were the recommendations you made? Because the aftershots, it's like it's a different house.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that's the interesting part of the discussion, the budget. So what budget they have to allocate, and then where we allocate that budget. We were really lucky with this owner because they understood the return on investment.
Oh,
so they were very much
open to what our suggestions were.
Yeah. But they did want to not go overboard either, so they didn't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So we come up with we call it property preparation plan.
Well,
property preparation plan, and we put that together in a report for them, and we highlight the areas that we see need attention.
Yeah, and what we've been concentrating on.
What we think the budget would be. So we came up with around $60,000 for this property.
Yeah.
And that was, we did full repaint. It had quite dark beams in the ceiling, and that.
I did see that.
Yeah. So just trying to make it spacious. So paint throughout, carpet. They staged it as well at the end.
Lighting.
Brand new kitchen. The flooring in the kitchen as well was updated. So all new appliances. There was some gardening, just minimal gardening. And then there was some plumbing. We had some plumbing issues in the bathroom. They ended up at the end putting in a new shower screen, because the shower screen, we hadn't included it initially, but you couldn't shower, the screen wouldn't open.
That's a problem.
So they got to the end. And I think through the process they saw how much better it was looking, and then they thought, well, okay, it's one of those things you start and where do you stop?
Yeah.
Because as you're going along, you find things along the way. Yeah, so that was a good one.
Yeah. Well, let's talk numbers, right? Because this property was interesting only because you got to directly compare it to the property across the road, right?
Yeah.
So at the same time, and I've got the data here, I'll put it in one of our Bodhi reports and attach it to this episode in the show notes, because it's interesting to see the comparison. That property looks very similar, and it wasn't a bad looking property on the inside, right? Sold at the same time in August last year. When you look at that other property, it's dated. You can see it's original. Like they've kept it in a little bit better nick, but they have had it staged. And I couldn't tell, and maybe you guys can give me the insight. The photos to me look like AI staging. Was that house empty? Did you ever walk through it?
We didn't actually.
No, we didn't actually go into it. So it was on the same block. It was a block of units or townhouses. And it was driveway down the middle. So we were on one side and they were opposite, sort of thing. So it was a completely same floor layout, floor plans, same build. They actually had probably a better orientation because they had an west-facing sort of courtyard, whereas we had the east one and that sort of thing. So so sometimes people consider that a better option, sort of thing. But so it was such a good comparison because it was basically the same mirrored properties.
And they were putting it up on the market. I think it was like $750 to $780, something like that was the asking price, right? So then, both houses go up. So you've completed the $60,000 of renovations with your client. They've put their house on the market for auction. Yeah. And I'll give you a little insight. They have the auction online. I was watching it on YouTube, so I was going to that here for these guys because it's fun to watch. Yeah. Because that house, mind you, they started at like $750. Yeah. It ended up selling for, what was it? It was $920,000 or something. $930,000.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
For that $60,000 investment.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring up that second house, that second house only sold at, I think it was like $750 or $760.
Yeah, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later.
At auction.
At auction.
Yeah.
They got $750. You guys with your property spending $60,000 to make those improvements and make it a really, like, you totally transformed it, like, to give everyone an insight. The kitchen that looked very sad initially is white and bright. You didn't even know how light that area was at all until it's been renovated, The bench tops are new, the kitchen just looks so clean. The appliances are nice and updated. It looks like a really livable space. And then the lounge room, the potential with that balcony coming out and the big windows, totally just a beautiful beautifully done. Like, well done to you two for having that vision. Because
we were so pleased with it. And we were so pleased for the owner too, because he was so lovely to deal with as well.
Of course.
And so it was such a great result for him to risk, and trust us, and and for it to pay off so well for him. So it's good.
It's just so nice. It's like I was just at first going, hang on. This is the same house. What am I looking at? Because I didn't even realise how spacious it was, or the illusion of space. It just makes a difference. So that 60,000 investment from him, like that would have taken him from a 750 value, another 60,000 would have taken him to like 810-ish, right? And then he sold for how much was it? Did you say 930?
Yeah.
And then the other people sold at what was it, like the 7?
Yeah, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, I just love that example, because I think a lot of people, and what I want to give you guys as listeners, is that reassurance that when you've got experts like, the team at 32 Projects, the difference is that they've done this a few times, and they're also taking the responsibility if they want you to have a good experience. They're not just saying, oh, hey, you should spend 50K and you'll be right. And then they leave you alone. It's really thought out.
Yeah. We put a lot of effort into the planning and selecting the fixtures and fittings to suit the area. Like, we didn't go overboard with the kitchen because potentially it was going to be a rental anyway. So we didn't put in stone bench tops.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
It's like sensible.
That's right.
Very.
And even with the bathroom, because he didn't want to spend a lot of money on the bathroom, did he? And sometimes that's a tip for your listeners as well. Sometimes it's just the silicone. Remove the silicone, renew the silicone, clean the tiles if you have to. If the tiles are in good condition but the grout's really bad, re-grout. If you can't clean it, re-grout it. And it can look like a brand new bathroom just with those little updates. Or taps, update the taps.
Oh, yeah, true. Like those old, like, porcelain ones.
Yeah, that's it.
Remove those.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, I think those little things you underestimate until you do it, and then you go, oh, shit. I didn't realise it was dirty.
We're helping a couple at the moment, and every time we go there, they go, we should have done this years ago. We actually will stay. Like,
that's what I was going to say. Like, do you ever have people that go, I think I'm going to stay here. This is a great home.
I don't think they will, but they keep saying we cannot believe like how easy this has been, the process has been for them, and how much difference it's made to the property. Yeah,
it's like just those sometimes small, or like, it doesn't take much, like 60,000 for the way you transform this home. And like the way I'm looking at it, that to me looks like, oh geez, that must have been like 100K, that must have been paint, that must have been a whole heap of things. And again, this goes back to people assuming the cost.
That's it.
And going, oh, that they spent way too much to that they probably didn't get a return. It's like, oh no, they actually did. This is a really good example of that, because we're comparing like for like with the property across the street. It's just a great coincidence that those two went up and they did.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know I love that. And I guess we want to play a little game with you guys. This is always just a bit of fun. It's rapid fire.
Yep.
And it's called Worth It or Not Worth It. So we've seen what strategic renovation can do in the right situation now. So let's make it practical for listeners. I want one of you to answer, and then one of you to jump in to agree or disagree and explain for a little bit of why you think it's worth it or not worth it.
Yep.
So these are renovating things that people have called out to us. Painting the entire interior of the home.
Usually, yes. Sometimes you can get away with just the walls and leave the trim if the trim is all good, and the skirts are all good. But generally, a full paint through is well worth it.
Unless it's brand new. Unless it's a brand new property, you definitely paint.
Yeah. It's like, brand new, don't worry about it. Yeah. Replacing carpet versus restoring existing floorboards.
So we always look. We have this little tool that we take with us, so we can lift the carpet up to see if there's floorboards there, because we think floorboards look much better, cleaner, less allergies. A lot of people have allergies these days, and they also make the space look more spacious.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and sometimes
they reflect a lot of light.
Yeah, and sometimes it's more cost efficient too, isn't it?
It's much more cost efficient.
To get the floorboards done than new carpet and underlay.
So I would have like always assumed the opposite.
Yeah.
We're learning today, guys.
Yeah.
Like, we stop assuming. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I like that. Restoring the floorboards, and it looks nicer. Like I've
It
got
does.
to
It
say, when
does.
you see it,
Yeah.
you know, you don't really want carpet. Carpet's practical when you're living in it, I
Yeah.
guess. But even then, I hate the carpet in my house. I've often said to my partner,
Yeah.
get floorboards.
Yeah.
And some people like carpet in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
The new owner can put that in if they want.
Yeah.
That's right. And you haven't like destroyed that
No,
floorboard.
that's right.
Yeah.
You know, with the recarpeting, and they
Yeah.
go, why would they pick
Yeah.
a blue carpet? I'm on it.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, you know,
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
right.
Perfect. This next one is upgrading lighting throughout the home.
We highly recommend it, but it is expensive. So quite often, when you're looking at the overall budget, it's one of the last things that's considered. So if we can't do a full upgrade, we'll recommend maybe the entrance.
Yeah.
At least you've got nice light. Particularly in the older homes, we get a lot of older homes, and the lighting's bad.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
really bad.
when you want the home to feel light, bright, and clean, because that's what people, you know, they're moving their families in there, so that's what they want, sort of thing. So if you've got dark lighting and that sort of thing, it creates a feeling in the house and that sort of thing. And also pendant, like, you know, old-fashioned pendants hanging down.
Yeah.
If we can get rid of those, and even just an oyster light, if they, you know, like that can be a cost-efficient improvement, and it gives a lot more like LED ones, and they're easier, you know, cheaper to run, but they give cast off a lot more light, and also it doesn't bring the ceiling down when you've got those pendants. So
Because this was part of, I think you said there's three main things you guys always look out for.
yeah,
And what were they? Just
yeah, the painting, lighting, and flooring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that's always probably a good baseline for people to assess.
Yeah.
Even before they call you in, they might look around and go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I see why.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Because trust me, I went home and I did the same thing. I was chatting with you guys. I had a look around. I'm like, so no, that makes sense. What about, you told me a funny story about this, so I threw it in there. Replacing the front door.
oh yeah,
We're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Not unless you have to.
no,
Yeah. Depends on what your front door looks like.
yeah,
So
that's it.
can you
So-
tell us that story of the front door, the agent that told that?
Oh yeah, so they've been advised by whoever, I don't know, it was the agent or whatever. Oh, you've got to replace the front door. So it was a front door with some glass at the top, glass down the side of it, but it was the old yellow bottle glass, you know, that
yeah.
they have in the 70s and that, and they'd been quite some ridiculous amount of money, and we said, well, hang on a minute, like the door's fine. We can just let's replace the glass. So replace the glass. You've got the option of clear glass or frosted glass, and let's just change the hardware on the front door and paint the front door, paint the whole entrance, and they couldn't believe the difference. And it was like a quarter of the price they'd been quoted to replace the whole lot. And they thought, we don't know what we didn't do this years ago, because that glass is just driven us crazy, and you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, just new hardware on the door and a paint job in the glass.
That's
It was just-
awesome.
yeah.
And
It made the world of difference. It looked new.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that glass, like, it is stand out.
Yeah.
You know, that 70s glass,
Yeah.
it does. It's very
It also
big.
casts
Yeah.
a very dark light into the entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
makes it more yellow.
That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to throw that one in there.
Yeah.
Because I just thought, oh my God. Like, yeah, those
Yeah.
people, like, they were going to spend a whole heap
Oh,
to
yeah.
replace an entire front door.
Yeah, it was something like $7,000 or something.
Oh.
So it was just ridiculous. Yeah, sort of thing. And that's the thing, when we go in, we'll look for, does it need replacing, or can it be restored or fixed or updated in some way, sort of thing. Because, yeah, we're not about people spending a heap of money if they don't have to spend it. Let's work with what's there if we can. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we pride ourselves on being solutions based.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I love it. And it comes
Yeah.
through too, because it's like, you're not trying to go, oh no, you've got to update that. That's going to cost 20 grand.
Yeah.
You'll get your money back. It's like, no, let's just be cheeky where we can and be practical.
Yeah,
And I think that's what
definitely.
people value when they're selling their house, because
Yeah.
they're obviously doing it to get money back.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, how do we get the best return? And replacing the whole front door,
Yeah.
$7 grand
Yeah.
may not have made
Yeah.
or great.
No.
It
Broken
wouldn't
That's
have
right.
been sitting better.
No.
no. I'm like, no, let's just work with what we got.
Yeah.
This next one is a full kitchen renovation.
So we wouldn't normally recommend a full kitchen renovation, but we have done some.
Yeah.
So with
Case in
Camberwell,
point.
with Camberwell, they really didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
The kitchen was quite bad. But usually we look at how we can update the kitchen if it's a bit dated. Get a lot of the vinyl wrap kitchens where the vinyl wrap's peeling off, things like that. So there's ways to update the kitchen without replacing all the cabinetry and bench tops.
Yeah, and if they've got good carcasses, it might be like, say for example, the old timber look kitchens and that sort of thing. So that they can be updated if the doors are in great condition. We just get the company in and they can update. Yeah, they can just paint all the doors, paint all the cabinetry around it, and then we can get some bench tops either covered or new bench tops put in. So
That's awesome.
yeah, new sink, new taps.
Yeah, and
Or use existing sink if it's not the old fashioned one that's really narrow with the meters of drain.
We're still surprised how many of those are left out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Gee, you probably if you collected all of them, you can resell them.
Yeah, that's it.
What about bathroom renovation when it's dated, but let's say it's functional still?
We just look mainly to update it.
Yeah,
Not necessarily
especially if the
renovate
tiles
it.
are okay. If the tiles aren't cracked and falling off and that sort of thing. So we had one client a couple of years ago, and they had 2 bathrooms and 2 powder rooms, I think it was, and they decided that they were just going to the bathrooms. The tiles were in fine condition, that was fine, but the grout looked ordinary and the shower screen was a bit dodgy. So anyway, we had it all regrouted, the whole floor, or tiles around the wall, put the new shower screen in, and it just looked like a new bathroom, didn't it?
Wow.
It was and new tapware, of course, changed the taps. Anyway, so then they came back and they said, that looks too good. We're going to have to do the powder rooms because they look so bad now. So we just got them regratted as well. So, so because they couldn't believe the transformation. They just said, these look like brand new bathrooms.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you're saying. Like, it's not necessarily smash those tiles out, replace them. It's like you've regrouted and cleaned, did a deep clean.
And even if you've got like an out of date tile pattern or or feature tile of some sort, the professionals can come in and paint them. And it's really it's hard wearing on the walls, and that sort of thing. And it just makes it look brand new.
Yeah.
So and fresh and modern.
So, I love that. Like, these are all the tips that I think people don't realise.
Yeah.
So that's why I
that's
like
why
this little section.
Yeah.
And this next one is, which I think you kind of already said yes to, but changing handles, taps and fittings.
Yes.
Yes. It's like that's always a smaller job.
Oh, yeah. That's and it just makes such a difference. You've got, old brass chipped taps or something like that, and or even chrome ones that are chipped. Just get some new ones and put them in, and it just really just brings that shine and sparkle to your bathrooms.
And you don't have to go as hard as the hinges.
No, that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
And what about full landscaping versus a simple garden tidy up? So like garden tidy up, like maybe you put some bark there, maybe it's doing a concrete wash.
We would generally just go with the garden tidy up and mulch.
Yeah.
Again, it would depend on the property and what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
But usually a garden tidy, a bit of mulch makes a big difference.
And if we need to, we can add in some plants just to fill it in as well. Like we've done that before, not full garden rip out and start again, but just pull out what is not looking great and replace it with something
it's a bit healthier.
Just cost
the other thing
effective.
too is you don't want to go and spend a whole heap of money on landscaping and then have the owners rip it all out and put in a pool or whatever they want to do.
This is always the balance, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to overdo it to personalise it to what you think is good. It's like, you're going to go buy these beautifully grown established plants that some cost like hundreds of dollars just for one.
Yeah.
Versus, let's just tidy it to a point where if someone can look at this and still like change it.
Yeah.
And you don't care that they change it.
Yeah.
Or that they can come in and go, well, I don't care, I'll get rid of it. And for you, it's not this big cost.
Yeah.
When you've got a rock pool and a pond. And
And mulch is such a great bang for buck.
Oh, it is.
It's just, I don't know, when we come across clients that don't want to mulch, we just think, seriously, like, it just defines the garden. It makes it look neater. The overall appearance just looks so much better.
No, I have to admit, when I did all my own landscaping at my house because no one let me pay for anything, so I did it myself. And I remember my partner said, we should do mulch. And I'm like, oh, I hate mulch. Yuck. And she goes, what do you want to do? And I said, pebbles. And she goes, oh, like, really? No, it's so expensive. So we had this debate. We put it on TikTok. We got a lot of hits of people like, mulch, black mulch. And I'm like, oh, damn it. And then when I did it, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, why did I? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Pebbles have been such a nightmare. Like, then I was like, no. Best decision I made. And now just when I want it to have an uplift, like they've been there for years, just been mulching.
Yeah, exactly.
Cost me not much. I just got a Bunnings, got a couple of bags. I'm like, right, there you go. Brand new.
And I think, well, my personal opinion is the pebbles look good at the start.
They do. Yeah,
but afterwards they've moved, they're spread, there's weeds coming through them.
Yes.
And they just, it just loses its effect. It just doesn't look as good. And I think, and mulch is just easier to just top up.
Yeah. And it can date as well.
Yeah.
It can date a property.
Oh, it actually does. Like I did that, like it's just in a small section at the back. That was the compromise. I'm like, I want pebbles. She was looking at the side of the house. And I'm like, all right, done. So I just put like this tiny row of pebbles, like that thick. And even then, I'm like, oh, why are they rusting? Why have they got orange on them? And then I'm like, I'm taking them out.
Well, the other thing is they end up all over the place.
They seem to scatter.
I don't know. They grow leaves and they spread out. And then my dog and my cat also like to get them and carry them. So I'm like,
exactly.
There was so many reasons why this was a bad idea. So, but I have to commit. And this last one, full styling versus decluttering only.
We would always recommend styling.
Yeah.
I mean, stylings can be expensive, but I think the way people view the world these days, it's all what you can see. Yeah, it's like a magazine, what you can see.
And it's the feel that you're giving someone to walk into that property and they're seeing all this nice modern furniture and they think, this could be our home. Look, this could be us living here.
And what's funny too is sellers who aren't like owning an investment property that they're selling, like I'm talking owner-occupied people. It's funny because they're also on market to buy, and when they go into a house that doesn't look nice or it's not nice and presented or it's too personalised to that person's taste, they'll judge it.
Yes.
Go, like, Rose, I hated that house. It's like, this is way prestagic. This is why you do updates.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I'll definitely agree with that, 100%. Yeah. Thank you for playing that little game with me. I can't believe we've come to the end of our show. This has been so much fun, and I can't wait to have you guys back because we can get into more nitty-gritty. But to wrap things up, for someone who's selling right now, or they're about to start this journey and feeling completely overwhelmed, and what's the first step they should take?
Get in contact with us.
I was going to say, if you don't say that, something
No, look, if anyone wants to contact us, it's a free initial consultation. We'll come out, have a chat, go through, no obligation to go any further if they don't want to and that sort of thing. But we're happy to come out and have a chat and discuss what their needs are and how we might be able to assist.
Yep. No, I really love that. And thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your wisdom. And we'll put all your details in the show notes below. So for our listeners, if you want to reach out, to Rayleen and Susan, please do. It's 32 Projects. They do an excellent job. The before and afters that you saw today will be linked below. Just have a chat. Like I said, it costs nothing to pick up the phone, have a call, and get an assessment done. Like, even if you're not selling, I sometimes feel like you're going to be selling in the future. Maybe you want to start preparing early.
For sure.
Start thinking about 6 months out.
Especially with the decluttering.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for coming on today.
Oh, thanks so much for having us, Jo, and we really appreciate the opportunity to have a chat with you. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. And right before we wrap up, let's come back to today's No BS statement. Today's statement was, you have to spend money to make money when selling your home. Do you agree? Is that bullshit or not bullshit?
No, you have to spend money.
Yeah. You have to spend money.
So it's No BS.
That's
podcast wins today.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in as always. We really appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Bye. We'll catch you next time on the No BS podcast. Tune in on Spotify. message podcasts. Bye for now.
That's a wrap for this episode of the No BS Real Estate Podcast, powered by Abode AI. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who might need it. If you're looking for more guidance on your home buying journey, you can visit www.abode.com.au for expert advice, property insights, and the tools you need to find the right home with confidence. If you're already on your journey, you can also download our app. Just search Abode AI on the App Store or Google Play. Have any questions or want to connect, you can follow us on Instagram at abode.com.au or send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.